What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to talk about one of the underrated things that's going on this summer that just happened. The NHL, as many of you know, has an agreement with the CHL, obviously the umbrella league for the Western Hockey League, OHL, and Q. And, it's guys that are drafted from there can't play in the AHL till they're 20. And it's kind of, it gets dicey. Because, for example, Jeremy Moran was drafted off the U.S. development team by the Atlanta Thrashers, and then went to the Kitchener Rangers, and then was in the AHL at 19. That was kind of an iffy thing, and that happens a lot. John Carlson's another example. Was it Palmieri for Anaheim? Actually, he was an NCAA kid. Am I thinking? But these kids that and I think juniors kind of screws the NHL over on this, is because guys that are physically too big for juniors, but not in terms of a game ready for the NHL. I'm thinking Dougie Hamilton from the Bruins, who I think will be in the NHL anyway next year. I think these guys that are too big to be down there, what do they have left to prove in juniors? They should be playing against men. That's where the better competition is. And the agreement between the NHL and the CHL ran out, and now I'm kind of pushing. Do you even bother going back to it? And it becomes like, can you pull these kids out of juniors the way you can pull them out of college? Which, to be honest with you, the NHL really doesn't have an agreement with the NCAA. Why you have it with the CHL? If you can take a kid off BU or Denver or wherever, why can't you take a kid off the Quebec Ramparts? I think to go further, I'm looking at a guy like Mikhail Grigorenko. Miguel, he's a Dominican player. I think I'm Miguel Cabrera. But what's he got to prove by going back? I don't think Raw wants him back. Why can't he play in the AHL with the Rochester Americans next year? He's physically ready. The tool's there. Is he ready for the NHL? Maybe not. But could he play in the A and develop his skills playing against men? Absolutely. I think that'd be what's best for him. And I think the NHL really has to examine the situation. I think when the rules were put into place back when the draft moved back from 20 to 18, it was to maintain quality level junior hockey players, and juniors held a lot more power back than they do now, in my opinion. And I think if you can, I'm not trying to put down juniors. It's obviously a very viable route to the NHL, so it's the NCAA, and actually for the most part I've been pro juniors in that debate. But if you can take a kid off a college campus and sign him and screw that team over, why don't those rules apply? If a kid's not getting quality ice time, a top prospect, why can't you just pull him out of there, put him on your AHL team, so at least you can control him and he's within your system? I think that's what the NHL going to look at. I think that's what, and I'm not opposed to sending the kid back to juniors if he's not ready. That's not in any way, shape, or form my thing is, why can you pull kids out of college and not pull them off juniors? And I think the juniors have held too much power for too long, and I think it, in some regards, hurts players, because you're stuck between a rock and a hot spot. They're not ready for the NHL, but they've got nothing left to prove in juniors, and they have to pick one or the other, when the AHL should be a viable option. But let me know what you guys have to think on what side of the debate you are on this. This is kind of an iffy situation, but one that I think could definitely work out in favor of top prospects going forward. That's all on this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the off-season and beyond. Later, guys.